So here with Chris Kehler, we wanted to know, so your sessions, we were talking about the implants and that type of stuff, and then the entities, and then the healing, straight on healing. Is healing usually, though, have something, is there a connection with an entity? If somebody's in some form of disease, is there usually a connection like that?
100% of the time, there's always some kind of entity or energetic form of a problem, whether it's a curse, a spell. Curses exist, and it happens every day. You can curse yourself by waking up, looking in the mirror every day and saying, I'm never going to get out of this crummy job. You've just cursed yourself. Okay, that's how easy a curse can be, but they can get very intricate, and people who do create them know how to create a labyrinth, how to get to it. So they know about people like me, and they want to make it tough for me to remove it. So all these things that exist at a very deep level, but mostly the reptilians. Now, the reptilians are capable of doing witchcraft, so intending something on you. And it happens, all the time, and we need to go in and remove that.
Interesting. So on a session, I just thought maybe it would be nice. What would somebody expect for a session, to book a session? What's that going to be like? What should they expect?
Generally, somebody will come in and will create a focus. So the person will tell me about their ailments, their concerns, their ailments, maybe some history of it. And then I'll ask some questions and hopefully open up some more dialogue, which might give me one of these aha moments where I need to look. Okay, so we need to create a focus. I have Hep C, I have headaches, I have bowel problems. Okay, I think I know exactly where they're coming from. And then I'll start doing what I call a pre-clearing, and that's getting rid of any entities, getting rid of the negative energies, reconnecting some bodies that might be disconnected or need a little bit of clearing so that the energies can flow very fluidly through the person's aura and through their body. And then it's just whittling down everything I find, with the problem in the liver, fatty liver, copper toxicity, parasites, this, that, the other thing. You clear out all of that stuff, and then you make some intent. You intend that the liver is true. My course is called True Quantum Healing, and by using the words true and false to seal the deal, that's when things happen. So I would say liver function true, and then that raises the liver to its highest vibration. And then when you want to remove something negative, you say the word false, and it doesn't exist. That's how easy it is. So we would go through the entire body, would find all these areas of concern, find the stressor, clear it out, find another area, find the stressor, clear it out. That's how a session goes. And quite often we get a good 15 clearings in within the 45, 50 minutes that we work.
Yeah, that was my next question, how long they asked. So yeah, it can move along pretty quick then.
It can. It's fast and furious. I want to get the job done. I'm not here to stretch out the sessions, 40, 50, or 100 sessions. I want to get it done 1 or 2, 3 if need be, or if we need more, but I don't want it to be prolonged. I'm not one of these chiropractors that likes you to come back every week.
How would you know a client would still need your service? They're still showing symptoms?
You can generally tell by how chronic the problem is. It's something they've had all their lives, and there's 5 or 6 different problems along with it. Then there's going to be a haystack to go through and find out what problems are the most predominant, which one is causing another one, like a side effect. So there's lots of untying of the knot, if you will, on how to realize or how to find where to start within the person and where to proceed. So sometimes, the untying of the knot can be a very big one.
Mm-hmm.
I have scoliosis, and I passed it along to all 3 of my daughters. And it's pretty interesting because if you talk to the Native Americans, they say that it is a virus that runs along the spine. But sometimes I think that it's a little bit something deeper than that. Maybe something otherworldly. Do you work with anybody that has scoliosis? Is there anything that you have learned from that?
Funny you should ask. Just today, I'm working with a 10-year-old girl with scoliosis. and her father had scoliosis. And it is a curse that has been with the family for a long. If something runs in the family, it's not scoliosis that runs in the family, it's the curse.
Yeah.
Curse or the spell or something of that nature. So you really have to sometimes go back through the lineage and find where the curse started and get rid of it there, or just the two people themselves may be just enough. But something like that is definitely a curse situation. If you think back, 100, 150 years ago, there's lots of spells getting cast, lots of bad juju being thrown around. I don't like you. That was happening a lot.
And it's funny because I'm getting goosebumps like crazy while you're talking. And, I am half bohemian gypsy by heritage. So it's just, I think about that once in a while. It's like, what were they doing back then that,
So that's part of your work too then, Chris? You would be able to go back in family lineage and clear that?
Yes, correct. And it's just making the intent to do it. Wherever you put your mind and your energy, that's where it goes. Time is just an illusion. You can go forward, backward, up, down, left, right, all around. You can go anywhere you want as long as you realize that you can.
And so that would present to you somehow? I mean, you would say, oh, this was great-great-grandfather John or whatever. I mean, you would actually be able to pinpoint that.
Yeah, great-grandfather John stole a goat from Bill Zeb down the street, and Bill Zeb's wife put a curse on the family. The firstborn of every family member is going to have zips everywhere.
Yeah. Really?
That's the way it worked back then.
How does that come to you? Is that just like a clairaudient message, or how do you see that?
Pendulum.
Yeah.
I mean, but do you hear it, or how it just pops into your head?
Okay. So when you say the word clairaudient, I use a chart with the alphabet. Okay, A to Z, and the pendulum will spell words.
Oh.
Okay? Spell it out. Okay, and they'll usually start with the problem is within the person's soul is a curse from a family member 10 generations away.
Wow, so that thing will start waving fast, huh?
Oh, yes.
Interesting. So
I don't use a pendulum traditionally. I hold a pendulum right there, and I move my arm, and it moves really fast. And I use autocomplete. So it starts to spell a word. I know what it is. I go to the next one. I say the word, and it completes it and goes to the next one. So we can get really fast because we're working within a time frame. We want to get as much done as possible instead of waiting for the pendulum to swing back and forth. Get the job done because I'm hungry. I want to go have lunch.
Show me yes. Oh, yeah, I think that's yes, yeah. Well, it's almost like muscle testing along with the pendulum. Your muscle is almost like being controlled or pointed which letter to go to. Maybe.
Well, muscle testing is dowsing. Dowsing is muscle testing. It's all basically the same. It's your body and your higher self using your body to tell you what you need to know.
Yeah. Now, back to curses. If you were to help somebody, would that clear the whole lineage? Would it clear the whole family members, or would you have to see one person at a time?
What would most likely happen if we did it within the DNA? Then it would start to ripple. Like a pebble hitting the pond, it would start to ripple out. And it would have an effect forward and backward. Okay, so it would stop it right there, and it would go back in time and get it at the beginning. As long as that pebble is big enough and it makes big enough of a ripple, sometimes you do have to go back into lifetimes. A lot of people will blame it on karmic debt, okay? Sometimes we need to go in there and clear out some karma. The karma bank has been cleared out, basically. None of us are really carrying any karma anymore. The past life thing has been cleared out. So now it's mostly our connection with the parallel worlds that we live within. We live in parallel world 2. The reptilians world is parallel 3. A lot of problems are happening in parallel 6, I'm finding. So we need to do some clearings of you on parallel 6. You're sick there through quantum entanglement, you're going to be sick here.
Yeah, it's interesting. kind of led me right into my next question. So if you're able to see past lives, or like you say, would you consider those timelines? What did you just call that? Parallel?
Well, there's the past lives is your time stamp of the infinite now. That's what we call it. So wherever that time stamp is, in the past, in the future, right here, that's what we clear. That's the past life thing, is your stamp, right here and now. Okay, but the parallels is our existence in other timelines.
That's a multidimensional cell.
Multidimensional, yeah. There's 7 different Earths. One Earth has been blown up. Another one has got reptilians on it. Another one, and another Earth, I might be a medical doctor. I don't know, or something like that.
Everybody's has that going on.
Everybody. Now, if you on parallel 6, if you're dying, if you're dead, well, on parallel 2, your health is going to go down really fast.
They are energetically entangled.
Too, and it's going to start to bring you down.
Interesting. So through your work then, so as you see these parallel scenarios, past life, the time stamp you called it, how is that, do you have any information coming forward of how that is for right where we find ourselves now in what we call the ascension?
It's all relevant, okay? Everything that's happening at different universes, different timelines, whatever, it's all relevant with the infinite now. It's all relevant right here. It's all affecting us. Because right now it's all about us, okay, on this number 2, this 3D parallel 2. It's all about us. Okay, so everything is relevant. What's happening there is affecting this. What's happening in the past is affecting this. So a lot of people call it the butterfly effect or the Mandela effect, where one thing affects another. And quantum entanglement, yes, it's very much there. Energy here, energy there, it all vibrates at the same rate. Vibrates here, vibrates there. It's all going to have an effect.
Cause and effect.
Yeah.
Simple laws of the universe.
So, but right now, as you're saying, you're calling this Earth 2?
Yeah.
And so this ascension is a vocal point. This is a crux in the matter.
It's very big. This is something that's never really happened. My understanding is that it's never happened before. And what I see of it, from all the clearings and all the information I get, what I'm seeing is that it's the creation of a pure species. Okay, just one type of DNA, not a conglomeration of different DNA makeup. And then what that's going to enable us to do as humans is to manifest at a much higher level. You want something, apple please, boom, there's an apple. Okay, maybe not to that level, but the whole concept of manifestation is something that's very coveted within the universes, where who wouldn't want to just be able to manifest something? My wife and I, we manifested a new house, and it was everything we wanted. There it is. The price was exactly right. It's in a perfect neighborhood for our kids to play. It's in an old area of town where I used to live and grew up, and now my son is going to the school that I went to when I was his age. He's going to play baseball in the same field that I played in. How cool is that? So that's what we manifested, and that's what came to us, is this is what the universe wants us to have, and we decided to go for it. We bought the house, sold the other one, and here we are in this beautiful area of town that is just absolutely perfect for us.
Oh, that's cool. What? Oh, go ahead, Denise.
So how much does the collective consciousness have to play into all this? Were we on the same page, Zach?
That was the question I was going to ask.
Collective consciousness, I mean, if you look at collective, first thing you think of is maybe an alien species that like the Borg from Star Trek, where they all work off the same consciousness. They're all plugged into the same consciousness. Now, you talk about consciousness. Consciousness is awareness, okay? Not everybody on this planet is aware of what's going to be happening with the ascension. So you've got, let's say, 3 basic groups of people. You've got awakened. You've got people who are just waking up a little bit and realizing, hey, what was that? I need to research that on YouTube. And then there's the people who are like, you guys are stupid.
Okay, here's a good You guys are stupid question. What is your view on Nibiru?
My view of that the planet thing is that it is a reality, but in an etheric.
Yeah.
Okay. When it passes by us, we're not going to know it. We won't realize it. What it's going to do is it's going to, on its way out, it's going to take all of these reptilians and all of these yahoos along with it. It's going to do a clearing. Okay. Now there are some people who are seeing an object in the sky. Okay, I have one person on my Facebook who dedicates her life with her telescope to finding this planet. And there's been a lot of different talk about, you know, Planet 9, Planet 10, whatever. And, you know, NASA's now even saying, yes, there is this planet that we never knew existed, has a very big elliptical orbit that it's so far out that we don't even know it's there. And there, you know, even on Google Sky, there's where that's supposed to be, it was all blacked out at one time. So the conspiracy is right through the roof with it. My thoughts is I believe it's an etheric planet. It does exist, but only at a dimensional level that we can't see.
You know, I was watching something. There was a Spanish scientist, and I'm pretty sure he's since crossed over, but he was trying to tell us that the last time it passed through, that was when we had the destruction of Atlantis, and so many people think Atlantis is such a great, you know, it's a great world, but really it wasn't. So I'm just hoping that, like you said, when it comes through, it's going to take the reptilians and the Anunnaki and whoever else with it. Yeah.
I mean, that's my thoughts. And at the end of the day, you know, if this thing is going to knock us all out, who cares?
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about it.
That's right.
In all reality, you know, my thoughts, if we are going to get knocked out all of a sudden, we're going to wake up in a different reality, a different timeline, and nothing changed. Okay? Just go about our daily life. I have a friend in Winnipeg. He calls himself Whisper. He's been on a few different radio shows with me. And this guy lives in all the timelines. Okay? He experiences them all. You see him walking down the street, you think, this guy is nuts. Okay? He's doing things with his fingers and doing little dances and adjusting energy. But you sit down and talk to him, he's intelligent as can be. And when he starts telling you what he's seeing and what's happening, you're like, okay, yeah, I believe you. Yeah. But he's so far into it and ahead of it that we're just not there. He sees like 5 houses stacked on top of each other. And there's an elevator that goes up and down and puts people in different timelines, different situations. He's just driving out of Winnipeg once, and he saw Winnipeg get nuked. Okay, in a different timeline. He lives in all these timelines.
Wow. Okay.
But just because it's in another timeline doesn't mean that's going to happen here. I mean, each timeline has its own events. That's
right. Now, of course, there is ripple effect. To what degree? I mean, you got to realize that you know, everything's relative. Now, Winnipeg is a city where there's like a dome over it, a dome of energy, where if I was to rely on my practice just working on people in Winnipeg, I would have to shut my doors because I get 1 or 2 people in my office a week. If it wasn't for working worldwide, you know, the amount of appointments I have would be very, very low. Of course, we started in Winnipeg, and it was, you know, doing okay. It was sufficing, but when I started doing distance healing, it really opened the doors, and Winnipeg just shut its doors. It's like there's a flat energy here somewhere. And we've got our legislative building is a Masonic temple. It's designed with all the sacred geometry within it. We have 2 rivers that meet. We call it the Forks. There's a big trading area back in the 1800s. A lot of people would bring furs and the different things to trade at that area. Very big indigenous population, which in itself is a high level of energy. So Winnipeg has got all these different weird things going on with it that create vortexes and that create moratoriums on different things from happening. So it's an interesting city. I love it here, but there's something weird going on, I tell you.
It's like Colorado. We got a lot of strange stuff, you know, and I think with the city beneath DIA and NORAD and the San Luis Valley is a hot spot for all kinds of sightings, but we're getting here to close to 6:30 for you, aren't we, Chris? You're going to have to get moving, aren't you?
We're going to have to get moving.
Yeah. So okay, so I want to close this out here, and I just want to say to those who are listening and to those who will be listening, I'm a healer too, and I do long distance, and I think that for me works a lot stronger. So for those of you who are thinking that you have to see Chris face to face, that's not the case. Long distance really does work. And so, don't hesitate. I might have to talk to you about my scoliosis.
Absolutely.
You might have to break a curse. So anyways, if you want to know any more about Chris, just go to his website. We'll have it in the descriptions. It's chriskehler.net, right? chriskehler.net. Yes. So, but anyways, we just want to thank you so much for joining with us. And it was a pleasure, and it was a lot of fun, and we hope to have you back.
Say the word, I'll be here. You guys are awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see you again sometime.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Many blessings.